Okay. Isn't this a good day? I'm glad you're here.
Amen.
Amen. It tickles me sometimes. I'll talk to people and share with them the need for prayer. And they will say to me, well, I'll pray for you. Okay? Think about this. How many times has someone said, I'll pray for you? And how many times have you said, I'll pray for you? I had a little conversation via text this morning with Wendy Forbes. And I know that different ones have told Wendy, I'll pray for you. Well, I wonder how many people actually prayed for Wendy. This week, a young lady, and I consider her young because she's only 63, 64. She's young. A friend of ours had a stroke. She's still in the York Hospital. And I received a call late Friday evening. She's prayed for Sandy. She had a stroke. Now, I didn't write it down. But I find myself, if I don't write it down, struggling to remember who I said I was going to pray for. Now, is that a lie? Or is that not a lie? Somebody tell me. Now, I know there's so many people in here today, you're afraid to talk. Yeah, I know. You've heard it down through the years. Liar, liar, pants on fire. There have been songs, as Randy's already alluded to, there's been songs about it down through the years of lying. But my statement is today to you is, I lied. Again, I repeat, in Kenya, when the first time I stood out in front of a crowd, and I told them I was a hypocrite, their jaws dropped. You could almost hear their jaws snap. Amen? Amen. They just couldn't believe that a pastor, a preacher, a bishop, a man of God would come from the U.S. and stand up there and say, I'm a hypocrite. Hypocrisy is alive and well in all of us. It's alive and well. Now, we have a tendency to believe and think that we are the perfect Christian. Come on, work with me. Perfect. We are the perfect. If everybody lived like me, then finally the churches would be full. If everybody lived like me. Right? Well, if everybody lived like me, then it's a good chance that some of you aren't going to make it to heaven if you live like me. All too many times, how many times have you heard about a church closes, they no longer have services, the preacher left, and because the preacher left, people left. And so the church closed its doors. Who are they following? Come on, work with me. The preacher. They want to be like the preacher. So if you want to be like me, start with, everybody have to have boots on the bed. You want to be like me. And Brian, I even have a pair of one that fits you, a size 12. I'm serious. So the other thing, if everybody wants to be like me, you'd have taken your meds this morning and made sure that there are certain things that I have to be careful of. And you notice I don't have the pouch hanging on me anymore.
Amen.
I have a little bit of a pouch right here. And
we were praying for you.
Hallelujah. Amen. A person said to me, well, I don't think God answered prayer because he didn't heal your heart. Well, he gave wisdom to somebody to develop this thing that's supposed to help me out with my heart. Mm-hmm. Amen? Amen. As I shared yesterday at Tanner's 16th birthday party with different ones, that I wear eyeglasses. And the reason I wear eyeglasses, I need a little help with my vision. I got store-bought teeth. And the reason I have store-bought teeth is so I can eat okay. I can chew my food better instead of gumming it. So, with this thing, when you think, well, the Spirit revealed to me, well, this thing is no different than the store-bought teeth in your glasses. Amen. It helps you with your heart. Amen. Now, I'm not going to keep up with Brian, but I guarantee you anybody else in here, I'll give you a run for your money. Nor Elizabeth or Chrissy, because they're so young. But I'm so blessed.
Amen.
But I'm not fantastic. If I would tell you I was fantastic like John, then I'd be lying.
I was better when I got older.
You were better when you got older. So, what we want to talk about is what Paul was telling at the church of Ephesus. And he was telling us that we're one family. Amen. Get back to the fact, praying for Wendy. Wendy still does not have a car. She got a part-time job, and then she told me that she had 12 hours put in the day, that part-time job. Now, she lives in York. Does she live close to you, Carol?
North York.
Yeah, top of the hill. There, yes, go.
We have to be on all flags.
No, North York.
Yeah, that one. On the other side of the road.
On the other side. Well, I'm going to text her back and tell her that all she has to do is make it known that she needs a ride, and somebody will pick her up.
Yeah. Amen.
We got people come in here, and there's one person in the car. They got room to pick her and those kids up. Carol lives close to her, and Carol would gladly pick her up. All she has to do is call Carol. Now, Danny would have to go out of his way, but didn't Christ go out of his way to take care of us?
Yeah.
So, anyhow,
Give me a call.
when I looked at this in Ephesians 4:25, we are part of the same body. Stop lying. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to pray for me, then don't tell me I'll pray for you. Mm-hmm. There's been times that I prayed by proxy. Now, I didn't put that on this list. Somebody tell me what praying by proxy is. Pardon?
It's on behalf of somebody else.
Oh, proxy? Okay? Another description of that is, I've prayed, I've said something that came from somebody else that wasn't true. I lied by proxy. Praying for proxy, you pray for somebody, but then there's times that we get a statement that, about it's not true at all. But we repeated what somebody else had given. You say amen?
Amen.
Okay, man, don't shout too loud. It's going to hurt the ears of people back near Christopher. Wake them up. There are 5 different types of liars. The sociopath is someone who continues to attempt to get their way. So they attempt to get their way by lying.
You're talking about government officials.
Government officials? Well, think about the constituents of the government officials. If you're involved with the police or a detective, their mental thought is that you're wrong until proven innocent. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.
If they stop you along the highway, they stop you because they know or they feel that something is not right. And they're assuming that you're breaking the law. They assume it. And the same thing happens with people who will constantly lie to attempt to get their way. Well, officer, why you stopped me? The other 3 people I was following, they're speeding too. Why didn't you stop them?
Because you're the last one in line.
You're the last one, right.
You ain't catch every fish.
You can't catch every fish. Every once in a while you miss one. So, people will constantly lie to get their way. Constantly lie to get their way. There's people who want favor. When we go to Africa, I know there's people who are lying to me because they want to get their way with the American preacher.
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
But we can't not go because somebody lied. We got to go because God's called us to go.
Amen.
And that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do until you put dirt in my face. In a box over here. And that's what I'm going to do. Keep on going. Keep on going. I said when the doctor discharged me Friday, I told him, I said, I want to know back going to Africa. He said, no problem. You'll have a card. You show me your card. You can fly with that. No problem. Just don't put your phone in your pocket on the left side there. And don't shoot your gun. Well, I shoot right-handed, so that's not a problem. There's a couple of things. I started to put my suit on this morning, and I had to put it back in the closet because I wear suspenders with my suit. And the suspenders would come right across it. It's not ready yet. It's still tender to the touch. Amen?
Amen.
So, the psychopath will continue to try and get their way. They'll try and get their way with you. They want favor with you for something.
Mm-hmm.
They might want that favor with Megan because they figure she can get them rubber discount because she's a manager. And so they'll scooge her and talk sweet to her and it they tell all kinds of lies.
Free coffee.
And so, Randy, how many times you have somebody tell you, well, I'm a truck driver? And as soon as they get in that seat, you know, they just, no way. Yep. They used to come on a job when I was working Peach Bottom. Now, I only had, for my crew, only had 24 guys working for me. But when they come out through carrying their toolbox and they set their toolbox down, and I can tell you by looking at their toolbox, if they were a carpenter by trade or somebody who paid the union dues and studied the test and got a permit to come down there to Peach Bottom to work. I could tell it. Now, it's okay maybe what, one or two tools you had to get a new one. But when you got a toolbox full of all new tools, there's a lie there somewhere. There's a lie there somewhere. So, a sociopathic liar will continuously lie to attempt to get their way.
Amen.
Down through the years, we've had a lot of people work for us. Larkin Homes and the construction company had a lot of people work for us. And there was people, man, I'll tell you, it made you dizzy with some of the lies they tell. Lee, would you go back there and shut those two doors? There's a glare in my face. Then we go to number 2. A compulsive liar. Some people who lie because it's just it's habit. It's just a habit.
Yeah.
Have you ever met somebody like that?
The devil made me do it.
Did he? Yeah, that was real popular a couple of years ago with Flip Wilson. Megan and Chrissy and Elizabeth, they don't remember that. They're not old enough. But the rest of us are old folks. We're headed pretty close to being the pediatric, not a pediatric, geriatric group. But Flip Wilson was the comedian, and he used to say the devil made me do it. Well, the devil did make you do it. You did it because you're a compulsive liar.
Amen.
Some people lie about everything.
Yeah.
Randy.
Where do you put the category where you tell lies so that you believe that you think it is the truth? Which one of these are that sociopath or false?
Well, you believe that what they're saying is true because they have told you something just to get their way. Number 1, they've told you, they've lied to you just to get their way. Amen?
Amen.
So, if nobody mind, I'm going to take my coat. I'm getting pretty long. Okay. Then we go to number 3. The occasional liar. Those who seldom tell a lie, but they'll let it slip out. Again, go back to number 1. To get their way. To get their favor. I get a kick out of on the news and on the radio, WTAC, that I listen to, in WJTL, you'll hear advertisements because that they will place your resumes, and they place people that they've already screened for you. A resume is a liar sheet. In most cases, it's a liar sheet. You know what I mean? I've done this, I've done that. I had a guy work for me down at Peach Bottom years ago, And I put it together, his name was Clarence, and I said, Clarence, what I've been thinking about this, and you said about how you worked here, you worked there, you worked there, and then I said, now, the way I've got it figured, how old are you? And he told me how old he was, and said, you started as an apprentice carpenter when you were still in the womb. He lied.
Yeah.
He constantly lied about where he was and where he worked. So we pulled a trick on him. We took the tape measure and cut a foot off and put the piece right back on the end. And so we told him, Clarence, send up a piece of that 5x9 plywood. They never made anything like that. It's always 4x9. I said, no, we'll just check it out with your tape. So he checked it out with his tape. No. I never knew they made it like that. We pulled his leg for that, but every time we go for a sign on a piece of lumber for him to cut, we had to make sure we made compensation from that point because we lied. We lied and we drug him into our lie. But because he was so arrogant about where he worked, how long he worked, I told him when I worked for the Martha Washington Monument. Yeah, I worked at the Martha Washington Monument. You know, it's right alongside the George Washington Monument. It's a 520-foot deep hole right alongside George Washington Monument. Really? When did that job start? I missed that job. And so we're just playing with it. But it's amazing how people will go along with your lies.
That's way long.
Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a little bit. There are some people who can't tell the difference whether they're lying or not.
Yeah, amen.
Now, we are a small group. And there's no reason for anybody in here to lie to one another.
Mm-hmm.
As Paul said there in Ephesians 4:25, we are part of the same body, so stop lying.
Amen.
If you can't make it, you didn't make it. Don't tell me you had a black tire, that's why you can't get there. You just overslept.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Well, just overslept. Don't put your arm up above. Not supposed to put it above my shoulder for a month. You know how hard that is? I don't want to comb my hair in, but anyhow. So, there are those people that when they open their mouths, you know, they're lying.
Mm-hmm.
There was a saying we used to have on the project. The reason we know that Clarence was lying is he opened his mouth. When he opened his mouth, he was lying. Then the careless lies. A careless lie will lie every way, which way they can, whether it's true or not. Being in business and having people work for us down through the years, you can't come to me tomorrow to do a job for me and tell me a lie as to why you weren't able to make it on time. I've heard them. I heard it all. Why you couldn't make it. Megan's experiencing it right now. The person that's supposed to be there at 7 this morning, did they make it?
She was there.
She made it. Praise the Lord for that.
I was amazed.
What are some of the lies you've been told about why they couldn't make it to work?
Somebody died, don't have a work shirt. Thrown up, anything.
Thrown up
I didn't know I was supposed to work today.
and had the diarrhea? You were one at the store having diarrhea? Working with the hot dogs and stuff? Had this guy work for me. Had this guy working for me down in Paris, Florida. We built power plant. So I had this laborer told me, he said, Mr. Larkin, he said, kid, I have all this week, my granddad died. He lived in Carolina. And I said, well, sure, by no means, yeah, just go. I wouldn't keep you from going to your grandpa's funeral. Well, that was okay. Well, then, a week later, he had forgotten, after going to be a liar, you gotta have a good memory. If you don't have a good memory, don't lie. Well, a week later, we had to go bury his old granddad. And so, finally, I got a hold of him. I said, John, are you burying old granddad or old wild turkey? What are you burying? He said, what are you talking about? I said, well, you said last week you buried your granddad. This week you're going to bury your granddad. Well, that's my other granddad on the other side of the family. Guess what? I had to fire him. Because in about 3 weeks, he buried almost every grandparent he ever had. Now that happens sometimes. Randy and Sandy had the fortune of, was it in 3 weeks,
5 and 4 months.
5 funerals in 4 months. And there was no lie about that. That's the truth. Well, this guy, he just constantly lied. Going back again to the compulsive liar to get his own way. To get his own way. And he never left Brady to Sarasota area. Never left Brady to Sarasota area. Then we go to, as Danny alluded to, the white lies.
There it is.
Little white lies. Well, Thursday, Barb and I went over to Sight and Sound to see the production of Jesus. And I sat alongside a lady who was a twin sister, and her twin was there, and they both were 83, almost 84, she said. And God put me in that spot. Now think, if you ever been to Sight and Sound, all the people in that Sight and Sound. And I was put right alongside this lady. She had no idea what I'd been working on, my lesson for today, that I lied. I'll admit it. Some of you won't admit it. There's another lie. Won't admit it. No matter if you lied because of what you've been told, you're repeating, and you didn't know it was a lie until you found out later it was a lie. It's like Pinocchio, you know the story. The more he lies, the more he knows God. Well, anyhow, she said, little white lies, her mama always told her. That by the time they get to God, they're black eyes. they turn black. So little white lies turn black. And then he said, there are no white lies. Little white lies turn black. So you think about all the people that you've met who have lied to you. Be honest with yourself the times that you told a little white lie.
What about Santa Claus?
Is that a white lie?
Yeah, he's got a white beard. Isn't it interesting about Santa Claus? Got the white for the purity of Christ and the red for the blood of Jesus. That's a good question.
But there was a real Santa.
Yes, St. Nicholas.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Santa Claus ain't leaving the presents under your tree in your house.
technically he does.
That doesn't, that's the parents get that. Not
Santa
Santa
Claus,
Claus,
Santa Claus, Mr. and Mrs.
Easter Bunny, the whole thing. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's a kid thing for fun for the kids.
Easter Bunny I deplore because they're substituting for the death of Christ into a day on Easter Bunny or Easter chick. Come on.
Did you ever study that? Did you ever study it? That'd be interesting. You just find out when you study it. It's the reason for the eggs, the reason for the chick.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, but I still haven't been able to figure out the reason for the chocolate. I mean, that's okay, I like the chocolate. But-
It's just good. You did a sermon on that.
Huh?
You do a sermon on Easter Bunny?
Yeah, long time ago. I don't know how long time ago it was. But that's a good question. Elizabeth believes in Santa Claus. What? You were a Santa Claus helper. You put the gifts under the tree. He couldn't make it down our chimney because it was too hot. So he called ahead and called Elizabeth on the phone and told her, put the gifts under the tree, get them out of the trunk of the car, they're already wrapped.
You just told away from it.
I'm working with you here. Come on, work with me.
There's a place where Sandy worked, had a guy there that would call the house. Talk. Like he was Santa Claus talking to the kids.
Okay,
There's a 1-800 number you can call.
pardon?
There's a 1-800 number you can call.
1-800 number, okay.
I don't make a lot of money playing Santa Claus for the balls and stuff.
I have a Santa Claus suit at the house that's over 70 years old.
That's true.
Now my granddaughter, that's pretty rough. I'd have to get Lee to play Santa Claus. That Santa Claus suit was my great-grandparents, and at the time didn't know we were kids. There was one of my uncles that my uncles would take turns wearing the suit. Now, come out of Church of the Brethren, very strict. Very strict, but you don't wear ties at that time. You couldn't wear ties because you're pointing people to hell. Well, what about the ties cut off square to the bottom? Or you girls couldn't cut your shirt or your hair. If you cut your hair short, well, maybe Sandy and Bev are the only two women in this church that God listens to their prayers. Because the rest of you ladies, your hair's too short. That's the 18th commandment. Thou shalt not cut your hair short, ladies. There are so many things that come down through the years that they're definitely lies from the church.
Amen. Amen.
The church has brought these lies together and said that if you don't do this, you don't do that, you can't, and God's not, with the ladies, they said God doesn't hear your prayers with your head on the cover.
Amen.
So then, you remember the time, but they still do it in the Catholic Church, I know, and the Midnight Church and some of the Brethren people, the ladies wear prayer veil. And you gotta have your head covered. God's not gonna hear your prayer, Carol. What's that on your head? Looks like curls to me. Looks to me like your head's covered. So down through the years, that's what I was taught growing up. I was taught growing up that it was a sin to wear a tie. It was a sin to wear jewelry. It was a sin to go to the movies. And only tomorrow's gamblers played card games.
And that was,
Today's dancers end up strippers. Well, Megan, you're not a stripper, are you?
No.
But you dance. Chrissy, you dance a little bit? Okay. Yeah?
Does God hear my prayers when I'm on the parades?
we got
Because I pray a lot sitting there.
Um,
Yes.
That's a porcelain throne.
But that's equivalent to everything else that they're saying. Because people will read into things and say you can do this or you can't do that.
man's plan, not God's plan.
Well, you grow up in a legalistic church.
Yeah.
There are so many rules
Yes.
that you don't want to be part of.
Amen. Amen.
Now, we're pretty lax here, but I guess a lot of people don't want to be part of it. Well, I know what, I've been trying to analyze this and praying about this, is I'm getting old. And the young people won't come to church with an old preacher. They want a young preacher who's got jeans and maybe loafers and no socks. And what have you, makes no difference. As long as it's getting people saved, that's fine.
Amen.
But I do realize that this church is not going to grow as long as I'm the pastor here. Not going to grow any further than what it is now. Pardon? Wrong? Okay.
Why would you say that?
Well, we got 3 or 4 empty seats back there. And where Deb's sitting, that'd be an empty seat too if she was one back, but she could be sitting with you too. Or she could be sitting over here.
That's because.
You're only looking at 1/3 of the church, or 1/4 of the church. We have 3 other churches that already had their services that is part of this church.
Right?
That's because the sun's shining, they wanna be fishing and golfing and doing everything but going to church.
And Canada.
Yeah, and. Fair.
My youngest son, God bless his soul, after driving from, now he's driving from Coatesville. He was driving from Doylestown. He's started a new project in Coatesville area. After driving all that, gets home on a Friday afternoon, and they throw all the stuff in his truck, and they head to Ridgetown Lake. And they'll be there till Sunday afternoon, and guess what to do? Drive back to York.
Amen.
It's like my brother-in-law. Before he died, he was a truck driver. Now, he run back and forth to New York.
Amen.
And they didn't have any children, but often when he'd get home, Jackie'd say, let's go for a ride down the river. I want to see the leaves are changing down there. Or go to the mountain where the leaves are changing. He said, Jackie, I spent all week on the road. And the last thing I want to do is go for a ride to see the leaves. So anyhow, to get back to the lesson. Back to the lesson. Little white lies, the church has told lies down through the years, the church has told lies. We got to be careful that we don't tell lies.
Amen.
You said, wait a minute, that we will, okay, now, we're not with any of those denominational churches. We are independents. Well, if we're not careful, we could end up lying about that. That we are independents and having a facade that we are better than the denominations because we don't get all hung up in all those little, your hair's too long, your hair's too short,
Yes, we can.
your shirt's too short, your pants are too hot, tight, or whatever it might be. I was thinking about it this week when I was working on this lesson. I'm thinking about this, that growing up, even though we weren't allowed to wear a tie, you see a picture hanging on the wall there at our house, in the living room, of all my brothers and my sisters. Jack was probably two of them. And every last one of us had a suit. When you went to church, you had a suit on. And I've been in different churches in many different places these days. And I don't see a man in a suit. Or very seldom do I see a man in a suit. Very seldom do I see a woman all dressed up. They're by all means dressed down. It's like throw a t-shirt on, throw a pair of jeans on, and you're on your way to church.
I grew out of my suits.
Yeah. Well, for $5-10, you can go to Salvation Army and get one that'll fit you. I know. I keep checking there to see one that'll fit myself. I'm not ashamed to go to Salvation Army and get a pair of jeans or a shirt
Amen.
or a suit coat if I find one to fit me. You think about this, when you make a statement about your salvation, your church, and what you believe. Yes, Ray?
I was 17 years old, we went down to Shrewsbury to a church,
Uh-huh.
and we all had t-shirts on, holding jeans and everything else. That was wrong, because we did it on purpose,
Oh,
just to get a reaction from the people.
oh,
All
you
right,
nasty little boy.
but that's wrong, what we did back then. I don't do what I do today. I was told, do you have a suit? I go, yeah, I just don't wear it. And, but that one day, or 2 or 3 times, I had a suit on. No. That's all I gotta say about it.
All you gotta say about that. Kristen, when your grandma was still alive and we were taking you guys to church, Megan,
My grandma?
when your grandma was still alive, when she dressed you to go to church.
Oh, gosh. Oh, like, she dresses like,
Well, you dress alike, yes, but you were dressed nice.
oh, yeah, you're just nice.
You always had nice clothes, right?
Oh, I always had a new dress,
New Easter dress,
Christmas.
new dress for Christmas. Those things that are a lot of times traditional. Some of it is traditional. Amen?
I was one of the only kids in the slip.
The only girl who won the slip. All right? So we have to be careful as Christians that we aren't telling lies.
Amen.
The consequence of the lies creates conflict. Tell lies in the church creates conflict. Too late for the service, always late for the service. Too early for the service. I don't care how late you are as long as you get here. You get here early, you can sit here and shake hands with Ken. Usually I have a house full of kids, and getting here on time is pretty hard for me to do. Now I made an excuse, because today it was just Linda and I, and I got here 25 minutes. I remember sitting there listening to some music. It came on at 10 o'clock, and I'm thinking, boy, I really like this. And I really like this. I'd like to stay a little bit longer and hear the rest of it. And I knew I was running low on gas, because yesterday from the party I took stuff home for Megan. And I backed up into her driveway, and I was backing up into her driveway. I run out of gas in her driveway. And her driveway is right across the street from Dandelion Flower Shop. So I'm like this. So I had an excuse. I gotta get out of here early enough to go get gas. I was thinking all kinds of excuses. Come on, work with me, church. What do you think, huh? And then Trina, she blew a big hole in my excuse. She said, take my car. So, anyhow, lies create conflict. Number two, it destroys trustworthiness.
Amen, 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 and amen.
You want to tell me how you really feel? Amen.
Amen. Because that is the thing that hurt me the most in my life, was the lack of being able to trust somebody that crossed me. And that, well, that was my first wife. I could never trust her again.
Okay?
And it was great about it. I tried to have counseling with her, but it was the trustworthiness that
It was gone.
it was gone.
Yeah.
I could never trust that woman again. Never, never. I can't trust her today. I would remarry her today and redo the whole thing. But that right there,
Can't trust her.
can't trust.
Can't trust this. Oh. That was MC Hammer. Can't touch this. Yeah, can't touch it. My oldest son, everybody knows Troy. Megan's oldest brother. He was in the Army. And they wanted him into ROTC. And they called him into the office. And one thing he learned about was that they kept lying to him all the time. They lied to him all the time. Not just him, but they lied to him. And he just said not too long ago, he said, Dad, if I'd have stayed in the Army, I would have retired already with a good pension. Because he was a sergeant, tank commander, the infantry, I guess you called it, I don't know. Well, anyhow, something like that,
Cavalry.
cavalry,
Yes, sir.
they didn't have a horse.
They had a lot of horses.
Well, yeah, a long time ago, yes. Well,
Yeah, it's still.
Cavalry, that's what they do.
so anyhow, he told me, he was telling me about this, if I'd have stayed there, I could be retired. He said, but I just couldn't stay there because he told his camp commander at the time, he said, you people lied to me. If I could trust you people, then I'd go on to ROTC, officer training. But I can't trust you people. You lie all the time. So we gotta be careful how we tell people about the kind of person we are.
The scripture says when you say yes, mean yes. When you say no, mean no.
And number three, the worst part about it, if we're a constant liar, it alienates us from God.
Yes.
We have to be careful as a church that we don't continuously lie because it'll alienate us from God.
Amen.
If you're telling people that they can't, tell a lady she can't, God won't answer her prayer, Deb Keener, no way God's gonna answer your prayer because the hair is too short.
Didn't stop with the other ones. He's answering many prayers for me.
And to tell Danny he can't come to church because he doesn't have a suit. Doesn't matter if he grew out of it or not. We gotta be careful. Now that's being a little overboard to explain that, but the fact still remains. We gotta be careful what we say and do. That we don't come across to people as liars.
Yes.
Some time ago, a person was told they couldn't bring their kids to this church because we had a pedophile. And that person told them that the pedophile died in prison. Now what's their excuse?
Yeah.
So we have to be careful what we say to other people. Amen?
Amen.
Yes, I lied. I didn't mean to lie. I told you something that I thought was true, but it ended up not being true. Yes, I lied. And if you tell somebody you never lied, you're lying, the truth's not in it.
Amen.
Truth's not in you. Whether we intentionally lied or we lied because we're misinformed. Going back to Ephesians 4:25, we are part of the same body.
Amen.
We are part of the same body. Yes, Lee.
I just want to praise God for his hand over me this past week, as I could be laying out there in a grave site if my truck would have done what it was supposed to do, but it didn't. I just thank him for doing it, and I praise him for giving me a twin granddaughter on Monday night.
Granddaughter wins Monday. Hallelujah. Isn't that wonderful? They're both healthy.
Amen.
Daughter-in-law's healthy.
Amen.
Good. Well, can't expect more than that, right?
Amen.
Randy.
What I do at work with my dispatcher, I'll run my clock down as far as I can before taking that half-hour break that's mandatory. He knows I do. Now, and he knows I hate waiting around, even though I got anybody out. He knows I can't stand it. So I wait till the last minute to take it. The situation came up where I was in Shippensburg, go to Sheets, there was no room there. My load was supposed to be ready till 4 in the afternoon. It was 1:30. I went right over where I was supposed to go, got up to the gate and goes, here's where it's at. All loaded and ready to go. So went in there, dropped the trailer, took a half-hour break. Now, if I wanted to stop and and get a coffee or something like that, I'll tell them, you don't have a problem. Cause there's people that take a 15-minute break, half-hour break in the morning, one in the afternoon, plus a half hour. He knows I don't do that.
Nah,
So when I tell him I'm doing something, he knows I'm doing it. That's building trust.
build trust, okay? So, the story of the lesson today is, don't lie.
Here it is.
Don't lie about it. Yes, Sam.
When you said you were lying, when you say, oh, you're gonna pray for somebody, when I do that, it's like I pray for them right then and there.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah. You tell somebody you're gonna pray for them right away. Anybody else? Okay, thank you all for praying for me. I appreciate it very much. Because I'm still alive and well on planet Earth.
Amen.
And I'm able to move around. Not quite as fast as I used to, but I guarantee you that I'm feeling good. It's like one of the old rock and roll songs. Who was it? Was that Marvin Gaye that had that one? I feel good. Who was it that had that song?
That was what you call that.
What you call it?
Yeah.
Who?
Little Richard. Little Richard.
Little Richard?
No.
Woo, I feel good.